Hey, Valeriy speaking. It's a digital talk, and we have a special guest from London. He is a high-end professional in digital, Adrian Niculescu. Let's go. Hey guys, we have a special guest today. Here is Adrian. He is living in London and he is high-end professional in digital transformation. And I'd like to do the word to him. He will represent yourself, if it is possible.
Hi, Valeriy. Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for inviting me. This session was planned for a while. I'm Adrian Niculescu. I'm a serial entrepreneur and investor, and as a professional, I'm a sales, marketing, and business development guy. And we'll talk today about digital transformation and about things you can do from where you are right now to start climbing the ladder of digital transformation, because digital transformation is like is a holistic subject. It's like blockchain, or like sex, if you want. Everybody talks about it, but not everybody understands how to do it properly. And digital transformation is like fire. You can use fire to make a barbecue. You can use fire, to arrange some metals in a very nice shape. Or of course, you can destroy a building or a car with fire or do some bad things with it. So it's not the same thing for everybody. And if you want, Valeriy, because this was the first question, okay, we can start with this thing. What is digital transformation, right?
Yes, 100%. You're right.
So if you are a native with something like that in your hand from early years of life, the digital transformation will mean to you actually to because you are anyway digital transformed, so you will have to upgrade your knowledge all the time because the digital space is changing so fast. If you still look at this as an UFO object, it needs that you have to start doing with it more than just talking to people. And mostly because I believe you are a professional in something, you have to think, okay, why do I want to be digitally transformed? So why do I want to become a more digitalized person or have a more digitalized business? And we can use some examples, because otherwise this digital transformation, it will remain a foreign language. I just wanted to tell you that Valeriy knows I'm a Romanian actually, and I grew up in a communist period. The revolution happened in Romania when I was 14 years old. I went to high school, and during the first holiday, it happened, the revolution. What I'm doing on a daily basis or on a weekly basis is like, okay, my mind has to remain like a mind of 20 years old guy. So I always learn new things. I prefer to be rich than right. So sometimes I assume that I'm wrong. It's a continual hassle for me, I would say, and I don't want to hide this, to be up to date with everything in the marketing in the digital world, because when I was in high school, we used public phones to call our girlfriends, and you had to pass the mothers, which was a very, very painful process, because you needed to introduce yourself to, it was funny. In Romania, for example, we don't have public phones anymore, because there are more mobile phones than actually the people living in Romania, you know.
Yeah.
I was last week in Dubai. I was speaking at an event about blockchain, because I'm involved in few projects in this area, and I will go back next month. I saw public phones in Dubai. I don't know if they work with a card or with coins, but still you can find in Dubai a public phone. In Romania, you can't. I didn't see any for years. So digital transformation is like a muscle, and you need to go to the gym to use it, because you need to flex your mind and to adapt to the new technologies appearing. So if you want to understand this digital transformation and to make it work for you, you need to say, okay, who I am, which is my purpose, professional or personal, and why the heck do I need this digital thing? So let's say if you are doing commerce, you know, and you have a physical shop, you say, okay, why not to create an online shop, right? To put my products in an online store. But when you create your store, you will see that you will be one of the hundreds of thousands online stores. Don't happen once you put the site on the web, people to start knocking on your door. This happened in 1994 when Amazon appeared, right? But now you are one of the many. So you need to start promoting your store. You know, you say, okay, I will work with an agency. I don't care about that. But if it's your shop, if it's your business, you need to start learning these things until a certain level to be able to have the common language to the agency, to be sure that they will not fool you, offering you, you know, fake stats. It's your responsibility. So automatically you will find the reason to say, okay, I need to understand how to digitize my business. Okay, I create an e-commerce store, I create social media profiles, I need to do advertising, I need to do email marketing, I need to do this, I need to do that. Automatically, you will digitally transform your business. Let's say if you are a stay-at-home mom, right? And you say, okay, I have 1 year or 2 years, which is in Ukraine, the practice. How long can moms stay after they give birth to a child? 1 year or 2 years?
No, 3 years.
Or
I think
3
3
years?
years.
Come on. And you say,
Yes.
when you stay there, you will think, okay, I can relate to that because I'm blessed with 3 daughters. So let's say you are a stay-at-home mom and say, okay, I had this job, now I have this beautiful child. So after this period, I don't want to go to that job. I need to do something else. And you think, okay, maybe I will start a blog about something. Let's say I'm passionate about cats. I need to start a blog about cats. Of course, you can create a physical book, but you can create ebooks. You will write posts. You will advertise for your blog. You will create some videos. You will create an Instagram community or a group on Facebook. So automatically, you will have some triggers which will force you to digitize yourself. You know, so you will digitally transform your paradigm, so to become an influencer in a cat space, in the cat space, I can say in the cat space, in the industry of pets, specialized on cats, who will make an income out of it. Because if you develop a good blog with a nice audience, you will be able to promote products as an affiliate and earning commissions when you post links in articles, product reviews. You will have companies knocking on your door to make a review about them. They will pay you, or you can create your own trainings about, I don't know, how to train a cat if you find it on the street, and if it's already grown up, how how do you train it to behave, or things like that. So automatically you transform yourself from a stay-at-home mom who had a regular job to a totally digitally transformed person, able to make an income from it. If you are an employee in a company, you can you can go to your manager saying, you see, our company is outdated in this and with that. We need to use email marketing. We need to use this. We need to use that. Please allocate me a budget to train myself to be able to help more the company. Because it is said, okay, you need to leave your job and to become an entrepreneur and to work only by yourself and not depending on anybody. The secret is that even when you become an entrepreneur, you will also work for other people, because you work for your clients or you work for your investors. Just you have more options. And today's roles are hybrid, usually between an entrepreneur or an employee, and sometimes even an investor, if some companies will give you a share of their profit. And this is especially available in the Western world, but also in the Eastern Europe. I'm a guy from Eastern Europe, right? So I can understand. I can understand everything, and the paradigms are changing. One thing I told Valeriy, which is also available in London. So I grew up in communism when I was a little child. Saturday was a working day. In my CV, because I also have a CV, I'm using it from time to time. One of the points there is that I work Saturdays since 17 years old. My first job actually was in a radio station. I was DJ in a radio station. I was still in high school. And to learn the ropes about this thing, I was doing shows Sunday morning between 6 and 9, if you can imagine, So I was like 18 years old. So on a Sunday, I woke up at 5 a.m. in the morning to be at 6 a.m., quarter to 6 actually, in the radio station, and to start that show. This was, let's say, my first understanding of the paradigm of work. And you don't say, okay, I hate my work, because work has a lot of takes a lot of time in our life, so you need to find a way to love your work, or at least to like it. And the digital space can help you a lot. So when you want to understand digital transformation, why you need it, you need to say, okay, I'm here, I want to arrive there. You need to have an objective, and this digital transformation is a vehicle you will use. It's not an end point, because you will never say, I'm the best specialist in this area of digital, because next month or over the next 3 months, you need to upgrade the knowledge, because the market will change. So you'll have to learn like crazy all the time, and you will be in the competition with yourself. So if you say, okay, I did this course, for example, in Romania, people like diplomas. So you can have a shitty course, but if that course has a diploma, which is recognized by, I don't know, if it's certified, then I will go to that course. The market actually doesn't qualify you necessarily about your diplomas, but about your skills. And for me, it was a very tough learning, because my worst moment in business, it happened after like 2 months after I received my my MBA diploma. And at that moment, I realized that I can't use that diploma when I go to the supermarket to put the card, and not to have enough balance. So I said, okay, I need to learn some things. I'm still using that in the office, but I had to learn other things. And fortunately or unfortunately, this learning process doesn't stop. And coming back to London, most of the people in London, they don't come to work on a Saturdays. Of course, if you are working in a mall, you are forced to do that. I'm talking about people working in, I don't know, fintech companies, software companies, even people who are paid like crazy, because it's a different paradigm. But in London, you will see that from the professional point of view, the most successful people right now are people from India, people from Asia, people from Eastern Europe, who are qualified on something, who are working like crazy, who are working more than the others, because there are no shortcuts to success. Of course, you see that there are many programs like, okay, 1-day MBA. Now, so, okay, why should I be so full to go in an MBA program for 2 years to spend this amount of money when I can go to this guy will give me a 1-day MBA or a 1-weekend MBA? But as a marketer, we marketers, we know a lot about human nature, because we are able to words to copywriting to make other people react in a certain way, and we people are wired for shortcuts. We want to lose weight in 1 weekend. We don't want to go to the gym for 1 year in order to have six-pack abs. We want a solution to do it in a week, and we are able to pay for that. It's the same with business. It's the same with digital transformation. And you need to put some work. Leave the TV aside and use your time. If you have a good connection to internet, you can learn about anything. There are articles, there are videos from people who are smarter than you, meaning that maybe they are not smarter than you. They know more than you know in the field you want to become better. And you need to always learn from these people who don't just read from the books, people that are sharing from their experience. Okay, I did this email campaign last week and it went very bad. That's why. This is how you learn. Not in email marketing, you do this, you do that, and to learn about what happened 10 years ago. Imagine that you are very specialized on the software powering iPhone 7, the best in the world. Now iPhone is at 12, I believe, right? So your knowledge will be outdated. Nobody will pay you for it because will not be demand. You have two options. You say, okay, the market is very bad. There is a crisis. Nobody wants me. I'm alone. I will starve to death. Or to say, okay, I need to put my mind there to learn everything, to upgrade my knowledge from iPhone 7 software to iPhone 12. But I need to put the work. Did I answer correctly about digital transformation?
Yes.
In a way that everybody can relate to that.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's a foreign language. Okay, we have a specialist telling us about digital transformation, but at the end of the talk, I don't understand the clue about what he's saying. But okay, it's cool because.
And I have a question. Can I interrupt? What do you think? Is it possible to be successful middle plus ages in digital? There are a lot of 40, 50, 60 age people, and they are scared to do their first step in digital. But we know YouTube users, there are a lot of 60 plus users, and it's not a secret. But they'd like to do it, but they saying, oh, I'm too old, it's impossible, it's for my grandsons, for example. What do you think?
Um, the only problem is here. There isn't any problem because I can use all the time my examples because I believe they are relevant. So first in the market, I see this in Romania, I see in UK, I see everybody. When you hire somebody which is over 40 years old, usually the employer says, okay, this person has a lot of obligations, has children, maybe it's very expensive, will not be able to stay over the working hours. So I will prefer people in 20s and 30s because I can give them less money. I can put them to work more for the same amount. But this is related to the old age of work, because what the pandemic did, it developed a lot the remote type of work, you know. And if I analyze myself from the date of birth, I'm a guy at 46 years old. From the mindset, I'm around 20. If I compare myself now with me at 25 years old, at that period, for example, I was a guy after 11 years of asthma, a very bad one, you know. I was not able to do any type of sports over high school or faculty. At 38 years old, I've started to run. I went to Anthony Robbins' Unleash the Power Within. I was not able to run more than 1 kilometer. But after that, I became a marathon runner, actually. So, which is something only like 1% of the people on the planet had ever finished a marathon, you know, so the percentage is very small. So I continued to train to fight moments when my metabolic system was very slow, developing businesses, going to speak at a lot of events. I also write in magazines. I said last week I was in Dubai for speaking at an event. I'm coming back at the beginning of October, and will be, I believe I will speak at around 10 events in a short period of time. So comparing myself now to back then, I'm highly more advanced than I was back then. So the key here is one thing. We humans, no matter the age, we can improve everything we are doing, you know. So let's say if you are at 40 years old or 50 years old or 60 years old, it doesn't matter. You need to cut 10 to 20 years because the time is compressed these days. That's why we see so many gorgeous women at 50 years old, fantastic women, which was not something we could see 30 years ago, you know. So the time has compressed. When somebody's saying to me, okay, I can do this, I can do that, I said, look, Donald Trump was president at 70 years old. I'm a fan of Donald Trump since 2007, 2008, when I started reading his books, and I liked his paradigms. And my favorite entrepreneur is Sir Richard Branson. He's also in 70s, and these people have more vitality and more juice and are working more than people in the 30s, you know? So it's the only thing what matters is your effort. And the problem is that, which is here, this digital transformation is an overwhelming thing. So you don't know where is the first rope you have to catch in order to start climbing. So you have to say, okay, I want to have this goal. I want a better job, okay, let's say. Or I want a job where nobody to look at my age. I want to be so good in that thing because it doesn't matter. It's only a mindset thing. So you have to start putting the effort, the hours to become better in that field. You need to establish a goal. Leave what other people are saying, because in the darkest moments of your life, you are alone. Everybody's disappearing. When you have a health problem, when you have a big problem, usually the employer, in most cases, will drop you. Your friends will not return your calls, and even the family members will say, you know, I'm very busy. I have this, I have that. You know, so you are on your own.
100%.
So exactly. So say, okay, what do I want out of this life? Do I want to become somebody in a direction, or do I want to complain like crazy? And what happens, you say, okay, I want to learn email marketing, let's say, just as an example. The first email you will send or the first setups will be crap. You will be very bad. And most people will abandon here because, so I'm like that. I can't fail like this, you know? It's like, put me now to start playing violin. It will sound like crazy. I don't know how to do it, and I don't feel anything about violin. What you need to do is to say, okay, I'm bad right now, but I will become better. So I'll continue start doing and overcoming the frustrations. This is the point where I believe 80% of the people abandon, you know? So to say, okay, I'm bad at these first emails, but I will take this frustration further, and I will send more emails. I will become better, no matter what these people are saying, because I'm thinking if I will be at the ground level, anyway, nobody will care about me. So why should I care right now? So I'll continue doing that. And slowly, you will become better and better. And if you are very specialized on a certain topic, look for opportunities in that direction. Companies to hire you, business to start, and don't look for a job. When you work for a company, it's like the company will make a return on investment for the money they will pay you. So you can say, okay, if you go to an interview, study the company very well, and say from the start, what are the things you can add value to that company if they will hire you by tomorrow, you know? And even saying, okay, if we do this, if we do that, I estimate that I will be able to achieve this, I will be able to achieve that. Don't look just for a job, okay? I'm this, I have 20 years of experience or 30 years of experience. Let me tell you, especially in our fast-moving world, the fact that you have 20 or 30 years of experience may be a problem, because you may look stuck in old paradigms, not able to change. So a guy or a girl with less experience, or even starting from zero, will be preferred, because will be very easy to be trained, while you will stay, okay, we need to do things like that because 10 years ago Renault did that and it worked. But we are in a different world. So this age thing is not how to say, is not an important element, because when you go for a job, what the employer wants, somebody who will fill that position and will bring value to the company. So this has to be your mindset, you know. If you say, okay, I'm at 40 years old, I'm like that, just to put my name there, I want this huge amount, company will say, come on, are you serious? And when you get the job, you need to do more than you are paid for. I know that it sounds crazy, because many people say, okay, I'm paid like this, but if I can spend 5 hours during my working hours to go on Facebook, oh, will be like crazy. I will fool these guys paying me. The problem is that you don't necessarily work for that company. You work with yourself to become better. And if you do this type of work, you know, like doing the minimum, doing less than you are supposed to be, you become such a person. And later, it will be very hard to become a different person, because you are that person. Wherever you will go in a job, you will work less, you will spend a lot of time on Facebook, you will not add value, and you will be fired very fast. And yes, that age will matter like crazy, because nothing else would matter. It happens at 20 years old, 30 years old, 40, 50, 60. If you ask me, I will retire when I will go under the ground, not before that. Because I don't see a retirement as an end goal. Also, I don't live for the weekends, or I don't live for the holidays. Ideally, you should do a little bit of both all the time. And yes, maybe I work more than others. Even what we are doing now is some type of work. I could go to drink a beer with friends, you know, but I said, okay, let's spread some education which could trigger something which will make the people who are looking to think about it and maybe to act in a different way. Because let me tell you, the life is not fair. It's not fair. The life is not fair. You can be very well trained, have lots of diploma, but your value on the market to be very low. Or you could be the type without diplomas, but who learn like crazy from YouTube, from Udemy, from platforms like yours, but to be so freaking competitive that everybody will want to work with that person, you know? The life is not fair. Don't expect to be fair. And it takes time, it takes effort. You can't bypass that. We could speak for days, you know, about those, but hopefully, because I was always in when I started speaking, my first speaking gig, if you can imagine, it happened because I said, okay, I would like to speak at events. It was one of my dreams, you know, and it happened in 2009. I was at an event in Croatia. It was about events industry, and they needed 2 speakers for that event. I believe they had cancellations or something, and they came back to the attendance list, saying that if you want to speak, if you have a good topic, we'll analyze it, and it will be nice to have you in our speakers list. Of course, I pitched a team. It was accepted. So imagine, as a Romanian, you know, coming from an ex-communist country, my first speaking gig was in Croatia in front of about 150 to 200 very savvy professionals in the conferences and events industry, actually, in a 5-star resort in a very nice setup, and it was a keynote in English. Of course, this was my first. Of course, I had a lot of emotions. It went very well. At the beginning, many people said, yes, you know, with your Eastern European accent, you will never be able to speak in London at events, they said. But if you go now to many events in London, you will see that the speakers, I said, are people from India, people from Asia, having their own accents, their own flow, and everybody is okay with that. Yeah. Some of them are even considered exotic. And what happened in 2018 is much harder to speak at events in my country than speaking abroad. I don't know why is that, because usually they say in Romania, okay, if this guy comes from America, this is it doesn't matter if it's good or not. If it comes from US, it's the fantastic, or any area. So as a Romanian, if I'm pitching myself to help those events, sometimes they say, okay, no, you are one of us. No, we have that guy from that country coming. And I said, okay. And what happened it's okay until a certain stage. What happened in 2018? I was I was pitching myself because even today, if I want to speak at an event, if I want to write somewhere, if I want to do that, I send an email. They can reject me. What can happen? You know, but I'm doing this. I don't expect to be saved by others, because it didn't happen and will not happen. So what happened? I was on the waiting list for a big conference, a tech conference in my country. I was pitching there for 3 years in a row to be accepted. They said the first year, no, second year, no, third year, you are on the waiting list. I said, very interesting. And in the same time, I was pitching to speak at the blockchain conference happening in New York, in Manhattan, in a gorgeous location. So why I was on this waiting list, I received an email from the guys in New York saying, can you come next week to do a talk on that? They initially didn't answer to my pitch, but probably, I don't know, they had a cancellation. It doesn't matter. The thing is that I said, it is a blessing actually that I wasn't accepted at this event. I was on the waiting list, because next week I was in New York eating strawberries in Times Square and during the morning jogging there. So I said, okay. People around me said, yes, but you have a lot of I don't know, you have a lot of guts to come here from Romania and to speak among all these Americans. I said, why is that? I always I'm doing everything I can to add value, so I'm not pitching myself. It's not about me. It's about helping the markets. It's about bringing value. And this happened, and it was it was a very long flight. It was to Qatar. Actually, it was a 30 hours flight, but I booked it on a very short notice. But both flights were like parties, especially from Qatar to New York, with everybody standing with lots of drinks. It were like two parties, you know. And on the last day before leaving the New York, the organizer said, you know, there is the Greek business community from Manhattan. They are doing a cruise around the Statue of Liberty. Do you want to join us tonight? I said, well, why not? That's why I'm saying you need to be open. And you need to embrace failure and rejection, because will happen. And it took me, I believe, years until to start being okay with being rejected and that. And when I went to that cruise, I had some 2 bags with some shoppings. I had the impression that I'm in a Keeping Up with Kardashians episode, because it was music, it was a nice boat with food, with a chef, with a casino. It wasn't bad at all. So from actually a rejection, from being on a waiting list, by a simple shift of things, I arrived in a totally different paradigm, and this was very cool. But I said it was like in Keeping Up with Kardashians. So I said, okay, where are the cameras? It was exactly like there. So it was very, very nice. Next question, please.
Super, thank you. Yes, I have one more question. It's about startup direction, digitalization and startup. Do you have any advice for startups?
First, my main advice is something I'm seeing in my work, because I do pro bono mentorship in Richard Branson's program, Virgin Startups in UK. And also I work with startups, both in blockchain, but also in other verticals. I help them with marketing, sales, and business development, and I'm also involved into companies in the core teams. The first advice is that the next big thing can come from anywhere.
Super.
This is the best
I
advice.
agree with this.
Few years ago, it was said, okay, you need to be in Silicon Valley if you want to make it big, and it was like that. But now there are 2 things I'm working on, because I speak, think, and write 80 to 90% using English, even when I'm in Romania. And I did French and Russian in school, but I don't practice them. Many of the programmers I'm working with are Russians. If you go to Dubai, for example, you see Russians everywhere, or people from the old Soviet Union. You know, for me, it's like Russians is like, you know, I know about burger. I don't know about the 100 types of burgers. You know, also. People from USSR for me are Russian. Sorry, I don't know about all the variations, and I said a lot of Russians are in Dubai. Many of the programmers I'm working with in the blockchain space are Russians. Lately, I receive a lot of emails in Russian, so I answer in Russian, you know, to be able to polish and to actually practice it. And the technology, the digital transformation, blockchain, these are universal languages, you know. So once you use them, once you master them, actually you will be able to get along with anybody from any parts of the world. So my advice is, if you want to build something, start building from where you are. Search online for mentoring, search online for accelerators, search online for incubators, search online for investors, search online for other programmers for help. Use LinkedIn like crazy, connect with people there and say, okay, we have this, we have these limitations. We don't have funds, we are bootstrapping, but don't let any limitation to stop you, because I said, once you have access to the internet, once you have a LinkedIn account, once you have an email address and an idea or a prototype or something, you can find a solution. I believe every country now has also startup programs, which are funded by governments. There are also government initiatives to fund new companies, at least, I don't know, like small amounts at the beginning. Usually banks have startup programs, because
yes, I agree with you 100%. There are a lot.
Yes, the smart banks are building a cluster of new companies around them they can purchase later if they want, you know. So you can find a lot of resources which will help you to bypass your limitations, no matter what kind of limitations you are facing. And think all the time, I don't know, to use your intelligence for good, you know, because are people who are amazing IT professionals, but they use this intelligence, I don't know, to clone cards or to do this or do that. Use your intelligence only for the right things. Because if you use it for bad things, sooner or later you will be punished like crazy. So avoid doing that, no matter what kind of temptations you have around you. These are the most important advices, I would say. And at the beginning of the startup, let's say you don't have any money, you can hire people for equity or percentage in that company, or you can trade. You can say, okay, I know programming, you know marketing, I can help you to build your platform, you'll help me with my marketing, so you will do a counter trade. Do whatever you can on the ethical side of things to bypass your limitations.
I've got it. And what do you want to advise to our viewers? What the main important things?
To never stop learning. Don't settle saying, okay, I'm a very good professional here, because what you know now can become obsolete next month. Think about iPhone 7 to iPhone 12. What happened in a decade in the industrial economy, now it can happen in a few months. So you can become obsolete very fast. So don't let the market to eliminate you. Upgrade your knowledge all the time, work on yourself. Nobody can do this work for you. So to become like better than the market, you know. This is my main advice.
Thank you, Adrian. Thank you for your interview. I think we'll get in touch with you, and we are raising our digital space, and we'll start informational module, and I hope you'll be an expert and mentor in our project, in our community, in our digital space. Thank you.
Of course, I told you that I will be involved. So I did this commitment already. The only thing is, like, my closing thought is that information is just potential power. It becomes real power when it is applied. So if you gathered only one idea or one aha moment from this talk, and you are able to put some time and some effort on it, I can promise that you will see results. Of course, you need to ignore the first fails, and also the idea that will be rejected. It's okay. But if you become persistent, and if you are following your goals, sooner or later you will reach them, and then you need to set new goals. So I will repeat: if you have at least one idea from this, make a plan and start putting the action there, and you will see results. 100% guaranteed.
Thank you, Adrian. Thank you for your time. Nice to hear you, and we'll see you soon, I think.
Yes, it's just the beginning of a very nice cooperation.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Valeriy.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody, and we'll meet again very soon. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.